In the meetings of the DPRK, I spoke to Jim Walsh, an international security expert and research associate at the Massachusetts Institute of Technology. He met recently with Glenn Davis, the U.S. Special Representative for DPRK policy, and he also met with some other U.S. officials on this subject. I asked him about the purpose of these talks.
What the U.S. government is doing is engaging in a series of bilateral meetings with everyone else that's supposed to be in the six-party talk. So that's last week it was China, or 2 weeks ago it was China. Now it's South Korea. It's going to be Japan, and they're trying to come up with a unified position. I was pleased to hear that the U.S. government is prepared to rejoin the six-party talks, prepared to negotiate with North Korea. Obviously, the U.S. and the other members have gotten sort of mixed signals this year. The year began with missile tests, nuclear tests, lots of provocations, sort of setting new records for harsh rhetoric coming out of Pyongyang. Then, by June, you start to get a different message and openness to resuming talks. And so I think all the parties are trying to figure out what North Korea wants. But I'd say that the good news here is that folks are open to sitting down and trying once again to address the problems that divide them.
And you said trying to figure out what they want. What do they want? I mean, that's the $64 million question, isn't it?
They both have domestic political needs. They're in the middle of a transition. They have a new leader. They're sort of changing. They're building up the party, and it's not clear what's going to happen to the military. So there's a lot going on the ground in North Korea, and that makes it difficult to figure out what their real preferences are. Now, at the end of the day, they probably want to have both a nuclear weapon and openness to markets and new economic trade. They're not going to get both those things at the same time. And so the question is, are they really willing to have an authentic discussion about capping that nuclear program and eventually pursuing this objective of a nuclear-free Korean peninsula?
Your sense about these six-party talks, if people sit down at the table, what will be the final resolution, and how long will all of that take?
I think it's going to take a while. I can tell you what the U.S. and many of the members want from North Korea and what North Korea wants. North Korea wants a peace treaty. It wants economic cooperation. The U.S. wants a cap and a rollback of that nuclear program. And we've had agreements that have worked in the past. There's this thing called the Agreed Framework from 1993-94. That lasted 10 years, no missile tests, no nuclear tests, a shutdown program. So we've had success in the past, but it's always difficult. And North Korea it's hard to know, what they want or what they'll do next. They've done a lot of different things this year, and so the consistency is not a characteristic of North Korean policy right now.